everybody. Welcome to your Vinyasa practice. Head to your mat. We're going to start in a seated position. And if you want to go ahead and get to that seated position, as always, I want it to be the most comfortable seated position. So maybe that means sitting up on a prop. Maybe that means sitting in a chair. Maybe that actually means laying down instead of sitting. We're actually gonna work into lengthening hamstring today. So just be generous, and like if we're doing things like downward facing dog or forward folds, other stuff we're going to be doing, bending the knees sometimes can help alleviate that hamstring tension. So just go gentle on yourself, go at your own pace. And so if you're not already in your seated position, please head there and just start to get settled in. And I think on the subject, as we're settling in on the subject of hamstring issues and pulls and positions that help with that, it depends on where the pull is located and what the surrounding muscle tissue is doing. And so, like I was just saying, it's important that you're being mindful when you're stretching, especially the posterior chain, because you don't want to re-tear, but you do want to build up that muscle fiber around the tear to make sure it's strong and it can withstand the stretch. So we'll look at that a little bit today, as well as stretching it. Just be careful with that. So just take a moment to sit up nice and tall if you're seated, and if you're laying down, relax your shoulders down your back either way, maybe flutter the eyes closed. Start to bring your awareness to your breath. See if you can start to breathe in and out through your nose if you're not already. And just notice how that feels. We'll take about 3 more conscious breaths here. And when I say conscious, I just want you to bring your awareness to your inhale, to your exhale. Notice how that feels. Moving through your body. And we'll blink the eyes open. We'll come back into our physical shape, our physical awareness, and we'll extend the right leg out long. You're going to keep that left knee bent, sole of the foot against the inner thigh. And here's something that might feel like a lot of sensation in that hamstring. So go super gentle with it if it's feeling like it's pulling on that torn tissue, if that's happening for you. So we're just going to lean over our right leg, extend our fingertips alongside the leg, kind of towards the foot, but doesn't really matter if you're touching the foot. I just want you to feel around the tissue of your low back, your hamstring. Take a deep breath in here. Deep breath out. Left arm's going to sweep up and then plant behind you. Right arm will follow. Deep breath in. And then you're going to windmill those hands back over that right leg. Fold a little bit deeper if possible. Maybe tucking the chin in, letting the head get heavy. And then we're going to do this movement in and out of this forward fold a couple of times. So your left arm's going to lead. It's going to plant behind you. Your right arm's going to follow. And then you're going to fold back over your right leg. So deep breath in, lift up and out of that fold. And then now maybe you press into your left knee, sole of your right foot, and lift the hips up. You can add that on. And then set the hips back down as you fold over your right leg. And that seems a little too complicated. Just stay seated and use the arms and the torso. Let's do that twice more. So big breath in. Maybe you're lifting your hips up and you're extending your right arm alongside the ear. And then maybe you're sitting your hips back down and folding over your right leg. Twice more on your own. Keep it nice and slow. And then one more time. Sitting back down. If you lifted the hips up, fold over your right leg one more time. Take one more breath here. And then we'll lift back up. Then we'll switch out our legs. We're going to extend that left leg out long. Sole of the right foot against the inner thigh. And it's okay if there's a lot of space between the knee and the floor there. We're just kind of seeing how the hips are feeling today. So don't force it to get into any particular shape. We're just going to frame out that left leg. You're kind of hinging forward from your pelvis. I don't want you to force yourself too deeply into a fold just yet. Deep breath in here. Long breath out. Notice how it feels around low back, hamstring on this side. And then we'll start to add that movement. So your right arm's going to reach up, plants behind you. Your left arm follows. Just stay seated for this first round. Deep breath in. And then exhale, both hands framing out that left leg again. Tucking the chin in, maybe folding a little bit deeper. And now we'll move in and out of these two shapes more fluidly with the breath. So our inhale, we'll plant that right hand behind us. Left arm follows, maybe the hips lift. And then we'll set those hips back down if they lift in. We'll fold over the left leg. Inhaling to reach up, maybe lift the hips, and then exhaling to fold. Okay, so twice more. And then one more time as you come out of this. And then as you come back to your forward fold, we'll stay there and we'll take an extra breath. Maybe you get a little bit deeper in your fold. And you might notice that one side feels a little bit more accessible than the other. That's certainly true for me. Sitting back up, now we'll extend both legs out to the sides. So you have a wide V shape, and wide is relative to you and your body, so it doesn't have to look like me. It's okay if it doesn't. All we're trying to do here is sit up nice and tall with the legs extended. Okay, so that means maybe you're bending your knees so that you can sit up nice and tall. Bend your knees so you can sit up nice and tall. Prioritize the length of the spine. Fingertips are going to go right behind the ears, elbows wide. Try to stay tall through your chest. And then we're going to tick-tock the body, the torso, side to side. So elbow down towards the thigh, and you're just going to go side to side with that. So you're really just kind of in this preliminary movement, exploring the tissue around the low back and the waist and the hips, which, spoiler alert, is the focus area for practice today. So you don't have to get all the way to the side. Your elbow doesn't have to touch the ground or even come close. You can just literally be moving a few inches in one direction. Again, we're looking at prioritizing the length of the spine here, the openness of the chest, and just a little bit of lateral movement. So try to stay within the confines of your body. And when I say that, I mean listen to your body. Try not to let the ego take over your practice, which is not an easy thing. Let's come back through center, hands underneath those knees, bring the feet together. We're going to make our way into our first downward facing dog. So walk your hands more forward of your wrists, tuck your toes under, lift your hips up and back. Relax your head, let it hang heavy between the biceps. And then right away, notice the hand position. Where do you feel weight in your palm? See if we can get it more forward towards the knuckles and the fingertips and the inner edge of your hand, your thumb side palm and your index finger palm. So try to get less weight on the pinky edge of the palm. And then let's take a wide stance with our downward facing dog. So walk your feet out to the outer edges of your mat and then shorten that up a little bit. So maybe slide your wrists back towards your toes a few inches. So you have a wide and short downward facing dog. We're going to add a little rotation here. So stay rooted through your left palm, reach your right hand somewhere along the outside of your left leg. It could be your ankle, it could be your calf. So your right hand's reaching for your outer left leg, maybe the ankle, maybe the calf. Keep pulling back evenly through both hips. Maybe you look up underneath your left shoulder. Deep breath in here. Smooth, complete breath out. Right palm plants. And we'll switch sides. So left hand's going to reach towards the outer right leg somewhere. Maybe it's the calf again, maybe it's the ankle. See what you can get a hold of. And then try to maintain this even pull back through both hips. Try to relax your head and maybe even look underneath your right shoulder. Big breath in. Big breath out. One more breath here. We'll come back to that downward facing dog and we'll take it back to a more traditional stance. So a little bit more narrow, about hip width distance with the feet. Same thing, hands about shoulders width distance, and lengthen it out a little bit. So maybe you inch your fingertips more forward. And if you're feeling this at the top of your hamstrings where it inserts into the glutes, bend your knees and lift your hips up. And don't even worry about getting the legs straight. Take a deep breath in. Everyone exhale, shift forward, find high plank. Pause in your high plank. Try to lengthen out through the whole spine. So lift the head up a little bit, like you're reaching the top of your head forward. So your whole spine is nice and long. The head's not just hanging heavy here and putting extra tension on the back of the neck. Press the floor away, slight round through the upper back, squeeze the legs together, deep breath in. Exhale, press into those hands, lift those hips high, downward facing dog. And again, remember, it's always okay to keep a deep bend in the knees in your down dog. I do not care if your heel bones ever touch the ground. You're kind of missing the point if that's all you're thinking about while in your downward facing dog. Mainly, we're working on lengthening the spine, posterior chain, which is your back body, and building some strength in the shoulders. So let's move in and out of our high plank and down dog 3 times. We'll inhale and shift forward. Lengthen out, pause. Exhale, press back, lift the hips. And try that twice more. You're just kind of undulating the spine in and out of the shape while building strength around the shoulders and the hips. One more time, shift forward. Exhale, pull those hips back, downward facing dog. We'll walk our feet forward, tippy-toe your way to the top of the mat. Inhale here, halfway lift. Here's another opportunity to think about strengthening while lengthening hamstrings and glutes. So there's a little bit of a stretch here, but they're under load, they're under tension. So think about engaging hamstring muscles and glutes as you halfway lift, also core muscles. Exhale, forward fold, generous bend in the knees as you fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. This time we're going to reverse uncurl our spine. We'll come all the way up to standing, head coming up very last. If you get a little dizzy there at the top, feel free to tuck your chin into your chest. Relax your arms alongside your body. Let's take a full breath in here. Feel your feet rooting down. Slightly tuck your pelvis under, nice and broad across your chest, shoulders relaxed on your back. Just breathe. Okay, so we'll move through some sun salutations with lunges. So this is our Surya Namaskar C variations. And we'll work on hamstring length and strength. Also hip flexors, strength and length. Inhale, arms reach up. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fingertips to the mat. Step that right foot back. Come into a low lunge, right knee on the mat. Sweep your arms forward and up. And then here, can you just get a sense of right hip flexor getting a little stretch? Hands come down. We're going to frame out that left foot, shift the hips back over the right knee, lengthen out through the left leg. So here you're in a half split. Again, you might feel this in the hamstring. Maybe you're noticing it around the joint of the knee, top of the hamstring. If that's too much, you back out of it a little bit. Maybe you rebend into your left knee a little bit. Deep breath in here. And then on your exhale, crawl the hands forward, rebend into your left knee. Step your left foot back to meet the right foot, downward facing dog. Deep breath in. Deep breath out. Inhale, right leg, stretch it up and back. Exhale, right foot, step it forward. Left knee to the mat. Sweep the arms forward and up. Come into that low lunge with the left knee down on the mat. And see if you can just get a sense of left top of the thigh, your hip flexor, quadricep muscles, getting a little bit of a stretch sensation. Bring those hands down, frame out the right foot, shift the hips back over the left knee, lengthening out some through that right leg. Don't overdo it. Breathe here. Let's start to rebend into the right knee. Crawl those hands forward, tuck your left toes, lift your left knee up. Crawl your hands forward even more. We're going to come up into a standing split. So left leg's going to float up towards the ceiling, or maybe like 45-degree angle, corner of the ceiling. Point those left toes. You're balancing on your right foot. Your hands are there for helping. So you can be on your fingertips. And you're just trying to fold the belly in towards that right thigh. Try to relax your head here. That's too much on that right leg, bend the knee, maybe bring that left foot closer to the floor. Deep breath in. Nice long breath out. Left foot meets right foot. Shake out the knees, wiggle them right to left. So both feet are planted, top of the mat. You're bending your knees right to left. And then we'll come up into a standing position. We'll shift all that body weight to the right foot. I'm sorry, the left foot. You're going to pick up your right knee. And then see if you can either make a stirrup for the back of that right thigh with your hands, or maybe you pick up the ball mound of the right foot with your hands. So again, you can make a stirrup at the back of the thigh, or you can hinge forward, pick up the ball mound of that right foot. Either way, we're going to kick that right foot forward. Okay, so you're holding the foot, or maybe you're holding the back of that right thigh. And you're standing up nice and tall here. Press down into that left foot. Think about engaging that left hamstring muscle, pressing it back behind you to straighten out through the leg. Really press down through that left big toe. Now, here's the tricky part. So we're going to rebend into that right knee. If you have a hold of the leg, release it. Still balancing on your left leg. You're kicking your right foot back behind you, swinging your arms down towards the floor, back towards your right foot. So you're balancing on your left leg. So you're just here in a standing split. We're switching sides, this time not using our hands. And then slowly float the right foot to meet the left foot, forward fold. Bend the knees right and left in your forward fold. Relax your head, drape your upper body over your legs. We are going somewhere with this. We'll get there in a little bit, but we got to do the second side first. So inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fingertips to the mat. Left foot steps back, left knee to the mat. Inhale, arms sweep up. See if you can feel that left hip flexor stretch. And then frame out that right leg, shift the hips back, lengthen out through the right leg, half split. Deep breath in here. Long breath out. Rebend into the right knee, tuck the back toes, step back, downward facing dog. Relax your head. Deep breath in, deep breath out. Inhale, left leg sweeps up and back. Exhale, left foot forward, right knee to the mat. Sweep the arms up, find that low lunge and hip flexor stretch. Exhale the hands down, shift the hips back, lengthening out through that left leg. Pause here, breathe. Okay, here comes the fun part. So rebend that left knee, plant that left foot, crawl your hands forward. We're coming up into our standing split. This first round, we're using our fingertips to help us balance. So float that right foot up towards the ceiling, point those right toes. Your hands are kind of forward of your left foot, helping you make this little tripod. And again, remember if that's too much on that standing left leg, maybe bend the left knee a little bit, maybe lower that right leg towards the floor a little bit so it's more like a halfway lift. Float the right foot to meet the left foot, forward fold, bend the knees right and left, relax your head. Let's come all the way up to standing. Now we're going to shift that body weight into the right foot, lift the left knee. You're balancing only on your right foot. You're going to make that stirrup with your hands underneath left thigh or the ball mound of the left foot, your choice. And then we're going to try and kick that left foot forward. So you could try both if you're not sure. It's always kind of helpful to see, okay, where are my boundaries? Where are my edges? And when you fall out, you're just learning, your muscles are learning how to help you stabilize. So count it as a learning opportunity, very successful in that way. You still got to go hold of your left foot or leg, start to release it. We're still balancing on our right foot. We're going to kick the left leg back behind us. Arms fly down towards the floor and then sweep back towards that left foot. And they're pointing in the same direction as that left foot. So you're standing only on your right foot, trying to balance. Deep breath in. And then slowly left foot meets right foot. Forward fold, top of the mat. Bend the knees right and left. Inhale, halfway lift. Bend your knees enough to plant your hands. Step back, high plank. Pause, high plank. Shift forward onto the tippy toes. Lower to the belly. Untuck the toes here on the tops of your feet. Press into the tops of your feet, the palms of your hands. Inhale, halfway lift, low cobra. Squeeze those elbows close into the rib cage. If your low back's feeling good, maybe you press all the way up, straighten out through the arms, come up into upward facing dog. And then notice here too, wherever you are, maybe can you feel that on the belly and the hip flexors. Exhale all the way back to the mat. Tuck the toes. Let's try that reverse push-up with integrity through the whole core. Include the legs, tuck the toes, deep breath in. On your exhale, press up to your supported or high plank. And then lift those hips high. Downward facing dog, 2 breaths. Okay, so this is where we were headed with all of that stuff. Inhale, right leg lifts. A little bit of an exploration of half to full split. Right foot steps forward, left knee to the mat. You can rise up here for a moment. And in this variation of our splits exploration, right foot heel toe it out to the upper right-hand corner of your mat. So your right foot's a little bit externally rotated, your right hip actually. And then hands come down inside of that right foot. Shift the hips back over the left leg. Pause there, breathe. Maybe this is where you're going to stay today. But if you want to explore wiggling that right foot forward, walk those hands alongside the inner right thigh, and then try to keep your back toes tucked, your left toes tucked, and stay on top of that left knee towards that left thigh. Unless your hips are all the way down on the mat, which if you're anything like me, they are not. Okay, so we got to work with right hamstring here, left hip flexor here, left groin. So wherever you're at, a little pressure in those hands, a little bit of weight to the hips. Take a big breath in, big breath out. Not really a graceful way to get out of this. I kind of do this inching my right foot back, inching my left knee forward, and then make your way back into your downward facing dog. And we'll explore that second side. Pausing in your down dog, deep breath in. Long breath out. Left leg up and back. Left foot steps forward. Right knee to the mat. Heel toe that left foot out to the left side of your mat. Making space for both your hands to plant inside of your left foot. Shift the hips back over the right knee. Lengthen out through your left leg. Deep breath in. And then either you're staying here or you're exploring going a little bit further. And going a little bit further doesn't have to be going all the way. Maybe you're just getting a little bit longer through that left leg. And maybe you're kind of tucking the right toes and inching the right knee back a little bit. Hands can walk back towards those hips alongside the inner left thigh, any amount, any amount. So a little pressure stays in the hands. Hips maybe get a little bit heavier within reason for your own body. And find your breath here. All right, and we'll start to make our way out of this, sliding that left leg back, inching that right knee forward. Feel free to take another vinyasa if you want to come up into downward facing dog and you're really craving a shift forward into your high plank, moving through that. Or if you're ready for child's pose, that's where we'll meet. We'll meet in our child's pose. Okay, so hips can kind of lengthen back towards the heel bones, and don't worry if there's a lot of space in between hips and heel bones, that's fine. We're not going to be here too long. Try to relax your head. Just take a couple of breaths here. We'll turn over, we'll lay down onto our backs. Any way you want to make your way there. Meet me on your back, hug your knees into your chest. Rock a little bit side to side. Knees fall off to your left, right arm reaches wide off to the right side. Gentle little twist, 2 breaths. Second side, knees rotate off to your right side. Left arm stretching off to your left. 2 breaths. Come back to center. If there's anything else you want here, like happy baby, feel free to take it. When you're ready for Shavasana, you can simply lengthen out on your back. We'll take 1 minute, relaxing the shoulder blades down the back, arms alongside the body. Let it go, let it rest. Shavasana. Feel free to close your practice where you are, but if you would like to come to an upright seat, you can start to wiggle your fingertips and your toes, move your head side to side. If you're coming to that upright seat, rolling off to a side and make your way there. We'll take 3 rounds of Brahmari breath. So just as a reminder, Brahmari breath is an inhale by the nose, and the exhale, you're humming with your lips gently sealed. So get comfortable. However you're going to do this. Let's take a nice deep breath in to begin. Your exhale is your hum. 2 more times. Deep breath in. Last time. Allow your breathing to return to normal. Joining the hands together at the heart, bowing the chin into the chest. Honoring your practice with reverence and gratitude. To all of our teachers, past, present, future, to the teacher within your own heart. Namaste, yogis. Have a wonderful day, everyone. Thanks for being here.